Corey LaRusso from Extra Sports 910 Clear Channel, broadcasting live at the AVNET 16-inch business-to-business softball desert classic at the Tempe Sports Complex. And joining me from Tempe Parks and Recreation is Shane Isabel. And Shane, fantastic facility, great night for softball.
It's a wonderful facility, and it's going to be a beautiful evening. This facility is about 8 or 9 years old. Play all of our adult leagues here within the city. Every weekend we host tournaments or have promoters like AVNET come in, do tournaments every week. So it's very popular, very busy.
All right, we're playing 16-inch softball tonight. That's something different for these parts. What do you think of the game?
It's a wonderful game, a little different than the 12-inch. A lot of defense involved, but fits well in this facility. This is our 4th year hosting the event, and so we're just excited to be here every year.
Well, like me, you've been here the last 4 years. You've watched this event grow. You've got to be excited about what could potentially be a big turnout tonight.
Well, we're hoping. We're looking possibly, and if the enthusiasm is there and the interest, we'd love to get a 16-inch league started with our adult seasons every season. So hopefully things come around.
With all the Chicagoans out here, I don't think that'll be hard to do. It's the fundamentals of baseball and softball, but there are a few rules differences, which of course George will explain to you as the night proceeds.
Well, in Chicago they play with no glove, but during this weekend we're going to give gloves to the Arizona people as they learn the game. They get better at it. They're going to throw off those gloves in a couple of years. That's number one. This game is played without gloves. But we're going to have some fun tonight, and this ball is 5 ounces heavier than this one, but doesn't go as far.
I'm with the Chief Communications Officer for AVNET and our host at the 16-inch Windy City Softball Tournament, Mr. Al Maag. Al, thanks for having us out here.
You're more than welcome. This is going to be another great day. We had 750 to 1,000 people here on Saturday, and I'm hoping for a good crowd tonight, and best team wins.
That's right. Tonight is the finals, and Al, you're a native Chicagoan.
Absolutely.
Obviously, Windy City 16-inch softball is something close to your heart.
Well, when you're born in Chicago, you're born with a softball in your bassinet, so you play no glove softball in Chicago. And moving out here, thanks to AVNET, it's been delightful, but I miss the real softball. And it's been great. The company has allowed us to put on events like this, both for the employees. We have employee tournaments as well as doing this type of event, and it's just gotten bigger every year, and we're looking forward to the thing getting even larger as we go forward.
Well, this is the 5th annual. You have to be satisfied with its growth over the past 4 years.
Yeah, we keep getting, what's nice is two things. We're getting new teams as well as keeping the ones we've had. In fact, we had 5 teams who played in the first 4 years of this tournament, couldn't make it this year. So we could have well over 30 teams. So the folks from 910 are committed to saying we're going to make this a much bigger tournament.
Al, we talked a little bit about the festive part of the softball tournament. Tell a little bit about how it helps the philanthropic community of Arizona.
Well, community relations is a very, very important part of our company. We believe strongly in supporting children's activities and educational programs, especially around technology. We have AVNET Tech Games for the colleges. In fact, that'll be in April. We've done science fairs, and I think we'll be working with Intel on that this year. But the softball is a great part, but we can still raise money, we can still do things, and that's why we're doing it this weekend as well. And we're able to accomplish getting things for St. Vincent de Paul, the YMCA Balls of Summer program, and the Phoenix Children's Hospital. So we're benefiting quite a few people, and I hope we can bring some smiles to some people who aren't here today. This isn't just anybody can play. This is business to business.
Right.
And I think what happens here is it's a great opportunity to bring a bunch of folks together to have improved morale in the company, just having your own team, get out here and have some fun, compete, and then now you turn it into something a little bit more. There's networking. We have some of our suppliers here, like Intel. Customers are here, as well as our vendors, like printers and so on. It's a pretty neat situation to have so many people that kind of know each other and are networking. They've seen each other the past years, and we keep getting more teams like this. It's just a nice thing for the city.
The AVNET 16-inch Windy City Softball Tournament, Al Maag brought it here, and it keeps on growing. So if you can't get it to us this year, look for it in 2008. Tonight, it's the finals of the AVNET 16-inch Softball Desert Classic. And joining me for the color this evening from the Chicago Softball Hall of Fame, Mr. George Bliss. George, thanks for being here.
I'm excited to be here. This is 16-inch. We played in Chicago. It's come to Arizona now, and if there's any indication of what they've done in batting practice, this is going to be a barn burner tonight, buddy.
It's going to be a great game. The Arizona Tech Council will be taking on AVNET Crunch Time. Both teams can play. They've gone through 11 teams to get to these final 2. We're about to get started.
Well, I'll tell you, you something. This game is going to take off in Arizona. I've played it myself in Chicago for years, Corey, and it's not an easy game, but I know these Arizona people are going to take right to it like a duck to water.
They obviously love the 16-inch game.
Do you have any secret strategy for tonight's game?
Nope. Like I said, I got my secret pitcher up there, Ken the Punisher Samaki, and I think he's going to shut him down tonight. So we should look for a real pitching performance from him.
I love it. Well, good luck to you.
All righty, thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, George.
Arizona Tech in the orange. Corey Jenkins, the batter. A ground ball to Veronica Graves. Over to Becky Vasquez. And Corey Jenkins is retired for the first out of the inning, George.
Simple play. They go to the right side. It's the right way to go with the ball, but second baseman was ready on that one. One out here quickly at Tempe, Arizona.
In orange, Erica Rutherford for Arizona Tech Council. The third baseman is up second. She swings at the first pitch. A ground ball to Rob Harrison. Over to the first baseman, Becky Boozer Vasquez, and there's 2 outs in the inning, George.
2 pitches, 2 outs, not a good thing, but they got to take some pitches. Remember, we start with a 1-1 count here. There's time, though. There's time to hit it.
That's right. Remember, 16-inch softball, different from your baseball or softball game where you play 4 balls and 3 outs. There's another ground ball by Mike Bunkers. Over to first base. It gets by Becky Vasquez. He'll hold on to first base. A little bit of a wild throw by the shortstop, Matt Abrigo, and there's a man on first with 2 outs.
Yeah, the ball's pretty big. Remember that diameter of the ball is much bigger than a 12-inch. It's hard to get a grip, so Maddie let a flyer go here and couldn't handle it at first base.
Ken Samaki, your pitcher. The first pitch is short, and it is a ball. If it lands on the plate, George, it's a strike.
Actually, here, I think they're going to go with the ball here. They do have a rubber mat here tonight, Corey. So it's a little easier.
Surrounding. Okay, pop fly to the third baseman, Rob Harrison.
So how did the Arizona Tech Council actually get involved in a 16-inch softball tournament?
Right. Well, AVNET is one of our members, and they really support the Technology Council with the Governor's Celebration of Innovation. They produce our videos for that event, and they've been doing so for about the past 4 years. So we've developed a lot of really strong relationships with, Al Maag from AVNET and Tammy Schultz and so forth. So Al always tries to involve us, and we like playing. We're a fun group, and we decided that we wanted to be involved this year. I would never have guessed we would have come so far.
AVNET crunch time now coming to the plate. Alex Wheels Vizcarra, the left fielder, is your batter. And he punches it into center field. This has had potential, but a drop by the center fielder, which is Steve Monnier, and Alex will indeed hang on for an error, but a base. Ground ball to third base, over to second, not in time. And that puts Vizcarra Wheels on second base. Sabrina Bina Padilla with the fielder's choice base.
Well, already crunch time has 2 people on, no outs, and you got the number 3 hitter on, Maddie Abrigo. This could be dangerous.
Yeah, shortstop, obviously an athlete as he stands in there. Swings to the first pitch. This is a liner to the center field. He's going to play it on a bounce. Here comes Vizcarra around third. He's going to try and score. That's Sabrina Padilla on second base, who threatened to go to third, went back to second, and was safe there. Matt Abrigo with the hit and the RBI, which brings up Janine Ware.
Right fielder.
Janine, a little fly ball to the second baseman. She's under it. She can't hang on. That gets off the glove. Sabrina looking at home plate, sticks at third base, and it'll be bases loaded here, George.
Now, I'm going to ask you a technical question. I was wondering if that was an infield fly that they forgot the call.
And they did. Indeed. Yeah. Great eye, George. It's an infield fly. And explain to everybody how that works.
Well, in baseball, with 1 out or 0 out, and men in first, second, or first, second, third, a pop-up could be used to create a double play that's not needed, so they call the player out.
That's our pitcher, Ken Samaki, with the liner into right field. He's at first base.
Absolutely. 2-0 here, and crunch time seems very confident.
This is Becky
go to a run rule game.
Boozer Vasquez, our first baseman. She was a big part of that top of the first. She lines it up in the center field. That looks like it has potential to drop, but shortstop, Corey Jenkins over there to make the play. All right, now batting for us is our first baseman, Dave Johnson, with a liner. He's going to go for 2, and he'll make it in there standing up to lead off the inning.
Yeah, that's a leg-out double. Out of the box, he was ready to go, and he's on second with no outs.
Now up is our catcher, Laura Breno. She stands in the box, and both of these catchers take pride in giving batters a hard time. And there's a ground ball. Samaki picks it up, wheels, fires it over to Boozer. Vasquez, the run does score, and it is now 2-1 with one out. Here comes Doug Little Sexy Osmondson stepping in the box. He lines it in to left field, and he will stay at first base with a single. Now batting is our catcher, Kim Osmondson. We mentioned earlier that Kim and Laura, the two catchers of the teams, enjoy a lot of talk behind the plate. Not hearing too much yet, but it's early in the game and a 3-1 score. There's a ground ball up the middle, fielded by the pitcher, Mike Bunkers. Tries to get it over the second baseman to the shortstop, Corey Jenkins, and they just can't turn it. It'll be first and second now with one out. Now batting, Desiree Belliard. They call her Suge Knight, and this is a professional women's football player, George.
Wow, and I talked to her, and she's ready to go. She's ready to play with the Cardinals right now.
Look at her. Yeah, she is.
And a wonderful gal, too. We talked about
football. Super great.
Football.
Obviously loves to compete. You get that feeling just from talking to her in 5 minutes. But an athlete, enjoys herself, lines it right back to the pitcher, Mike Bunkers. So shortstop Corey Jenkins will lead off the inning down 3-1. Jenkins lines it right up the middle, past Samaki. That'll go into center field. Jenkins looks at two. He'll hold up at first as the ball got by our left center fielder.
Let Rutherford take over here at home plate.
Yep, she's our third baseman tonight, batting behind Jenkins. Ground ball to Rob Harrison. He goes over to Desiree, and that's not in time. He's safe. It'll be first and second here. And
infielder didn't get there in time.
Arizona Tech Council has something cooking here in the fourth inning.
Well, you got to cover quickly here because we have 60-foot bases, and you can get there quick. These athletes are very quick. It's 2/3 as short as Major League Ball here.
This brings up our pitcher, Mike Bunkers. He lines it into center field. Here comes Jenkins around third. He's going to score. Rutherford gets to third, and Mike Bunkers with a stand-up double. And Arizona Tech Council has cut the lead 3-2, which brings up first baseman, the big guy, Dave Johnson. Dave absolutely piled on in the first inning. Big shot comes up again, and this is going to get to the hole. Picked up by Harrison. Over to the Boozer, Vasquez, and the run scores. So we have now 3-3, a tie game, and 2 outs in the inning. All right, we head into the bottom of the fourth inning, AVNET crunch time, and Becky Boozer Vasquez at the plate. Fly ball into right center. That gets by Monier, and she will stay at first base. Steve Monier bobbled it, got it back in to save the base. Good hit by Becky Boozer Vasquez. Man on first with nobody out in the inning. That brings up Rob Harrison, the third baseman. He's been busy tonight.
He's got a lot of balls tonight, a lot of pull going on by the Arizona team, Arizona Tech Council.
Harrison one on it, drives it into right field. This could get by Deborah Zach. It does. This will go all the way to the wall. Becky Boozer Vasquez around third. She's going to score. Harrison looking towards home. The cutoff, the throw, not in time. That's an inside the park home run by Rob Harrison. That scores 2 and gives AVNET crunch time a 5-3 lead over Arizona Tech Council. Veronica, second baseman, up, facing a 1-2 count. She gives it a ride over to the shortstop, Corey Jenkins. He gets in front of it. Good throw to Johnson. He can't hang on to it. And Graves will be at first base.
With an infield hit.
All right, Doug Osmondson steps into the plate. And he sends it into right field. Deborah Zach trying to get under it again. This will get by her. Monier picks it up. Veronica Graves rounding third. She's going to try and get home. Doug Johnson can't get to it. Veronica will score. And little sexy Doug Osmondson gets a third base on a stand-up triple. This car looks at the first pitch. He'll swing at it. He drives it into right field. This is going to go back to Deborah Zach. This is going to be tough for her. She does stop it. She gets it inside to Johnson. Kim Osmondson rounds third. She scores. Desiree Belliard rounds third, and she scores. And that's 2 more in the inning. The score is now 9-3 in favor at AVNET crunch time. This is Sabrina Padilla. She's had a big night so far with Vizcarra on second base. Make that Osmondson on second base. They throw her out at first base. The throw home, and Osmondson beats it. That's going to bring in yet another run for crunch time, and they're now taking a commanding 10-3 lead here up on the 10-run rule.
We are, and I never wish this, but I hope Arizona Tech Council could tighten up now. I'd like to see it go all the way because I've seen many games won in the last inning.
Yeah, we've got one more inning after this, if necessary, right now. Right now, Sabrina Padilla drives it into left field. It's a nice catch by Chris Stevens. He tries to get it home, but Belliard beats it out on the tag, and that scores yet another run. It's 12-4 now. AVNET crunch time on the fly ball. Abrigo drives it into center field. Trying to get underneath it is Mike Crone. It gets Byer. The left fielder, Chris Stevens, picks it up. He tries to get it in. He won't be able to get Perez. Brigo will go to third with the triple. 13-4 is where we stand. That 10-run rule standing on third base in the form of Matt Abrigo, the shortstop. That's Janine Ware, our cleanup hitter. To third base, over to first, and that'll be the first out of the inning as the run does score. It's now 14-4. The 10-run rule has been enforced, George, and that means the game has been called. 14-4. AVNET Crunch Time defeats Arizona Tech Council, and they are indeed the co-ed champions of the AVNET 16-inch softball Desert Classic. At this co-ed championship game, it's AVNET Crunch Time, just too much for Arizona Tech Council. They're the champions.
Hey, Crunch Time, I want to be on your team. Come to Chicago. I could use you.
All right, congratulations to AVNET Crunch Team, our co-ed champions for the AVNET 16-inch softball Desert Classic. Well, nice job. Ron Osmondson, you are the captain, the coach of the team. I'm going to present you with a stack of tickets to the Phoenix Coyote Chicago Blackhawk game. Right. You'll have your own suite. It's January 19th, and we're also going to give you a bunch of parking passes, so it's really convenient and easy for you. Enjoy yourselves. You guys earned it.
All right, hey, one last thing, I'd like to say thanks to Maag over there for bringing this game to the state of Arizona. Before this, it was only 12-inch ball out here. We're all learning how to play 16-inch ball, and eventually one of these days we're going to go to Chicago and show them that we know how to play as well as a co-ed team as well. So thanks a lot, Maag.
Ron Osmondson, the team captain and coach for AVNET Crunch Time, your co-ed champions for 2007.
Yes. Woo!
Every day when you leave for work, there's one thing you don't have to remember to bring with you. That's because nearly 70% of Arizona businesses use SCF Arizona for workers' compensation insurance. SCF Arizona helps prevent accidents, and we make sure you're covered if something happens. Having us here means you're free to focus on life's more important things. SCF Arizona, at work for you.
Headquartered in the Valley, AVNET is the global leader in electronic component and computer solutions with over $16 billion in sales. A few of our partners include Let us accelerate your success and join our winning team.
I'm Carl Crawford. Alumnus of RBI, where I learned about baseball and life.
Every year, over 100,000 kids worldwide play baseball and softball through the Reviving Baseball in Inner Cities program.
RBI is more than just baseball. It's an opportunity to help others.
RBI teaches the skills to succeed in life.
Without RBI, I don't think I'd be in the major leagues today.
Major League Baseball's RBI program, presented by KPMG, driving home the values of life.
16-inch softball. Have you played it before?
No, I'm used to the little smaller ball. This is brand new. It's like a basketball out there. It's nice, though.
Right.
Different.
The co-ed team, are you looking forward to it? Do you guys have any talent on your team?
Oh, we have tons of talent. Did you see us? We're on fire.
So you won your first game?
No, we lost by 1.
How does 16-inch softball differ the game itself?
Well, 16-inch softball, in my opinion, is the way that softball was meant to be played. It was the original game of softball. The 12-inch game now has evolved into it's so much as the equipment. And the balls being so hot and the bat being so hot, when they're playing rec league 12-inch ball, every time a pitcher throws a pitch, he's taking his life into his hands. With the 16-inch game, it's much more of an equalizer. It's a harder ball to hit. It's a harder ball to field. It actually puts finesse and skill back into the game.
So that's what you mean by softball played the way it's meant to be played?
Exactly. The 16-inch game is the way it's supposed to be played.
Is there any differential in the rules to the game than we know of as far as softball or baseball is concerned?
The two basic differences between 16-inch and 12-inch is in 16-inch ball, the pitcher has 2 fakes to the plate, and the runners can lead off. They can't advance, they can't steal, but they can lead off, and they're liable to be picked off.
Well, now, is that a smart play to lead off when you can't even steal? I mean, does that give you any kind of advantage other than potentially the defense advantage to pick you off?
The big advantage it gives you is you can work a hit and run. And the teams that know how to work it, they can score from first base on a base hit. What they'll do is, if they get a rabbit on first base, he'll get his lead off. If the batter thinks he can handle the pitch coming in, he'll yell out "go," and the runner will take off before the ball's even hit.
Very, very, very interesting strategy. Had no idea that existed. Joining me from Bound is Jerry Brown. Good to have you here, Jerry.
Thanks, Corey. Great to be here as well.
You've had a co-ed team in each and every year for the AVNET tournament. What is your fascination with 16-inch softball?
Well, you know, we've got about 300 employees here in Phoenix, and we have a lot of people that really enjoy playing softball. So we work with AVNET, and they asked us to participate in the first year. So I think we've been doing it now for about, I guess it's about 5 years or so. But you know, we've got a lot of people from the Chicago area, so they enjoy playing softball. So it wasn't hard getting a team together.
Jerry, somebody told me that you've changed your entire hiring process for your company about softball. Explain that to us.
Oh, it's got to be the first question you ask. Do you play softball and can you hit? You know, so we give them a little tryout in the back, and if they can hit, they got a pretty good chance of getting hired.
You got to love his style, right? Especially if you're a baseball, softball fan. Absolutely, Jerry Brown from the Bound Company. George, we've already seen the co-ed championship determined. Now it's the men. We've gone through 17 teams. There's 2 left. It's Dirks Moving and Engel Holmes for the men's championship.
Here's what to look for here. Terrorism on the base paths. Both these teams are very, very aggressive. Engel Holmes and Dirks Moving. I couldn't pick it if you gave me $1 million.
Yeah, it should be a great game. Remember, 16-inch softball, you step in the box with a 1-1 count, and there's a 10-run rule at play, which we saw in the co-ed championship. Glenn Tolk, your catcher, and the pitcher, the Mexican Tornado, Johnny Maestis. And the first play of the game underway, and Engel Holmes grounds into an immediate single. Man on first base. Nobody out. Stepping into the box is David Corley, the second baseman for Engel Holmes. He hits a fly ball into right center field. That'll be Mike Rocky Rhodes underneath it. Tries to get it in to the tagging Chris White. Ball gets by the shortstop, tries to get to third, and he's underneath the tag. And safe at third base is Chris White. Man on third early for Engel Holmes.
You know, Rhodes was an All-American high school football player. He got that ball in, couldn't handle it at first, and then in under that play.
Our home plate catcher, Steve Gibbs. Jeff Kirsch, the first base umpire. At third base is Jim Bronson as Scott Spengler, the shortstop, steps into the box. He lines it to the second baseman, holds the runner at second, over to first for the out, tries to get him at home, not in time. Chris White scores the first run of the game on the ground out by Spengler.
Yeah, a great play there. Watson, great second baseman who's filling in tonight.
We have 2 down here, and the batter will be your rover, Bo Milner. The rover, Bo Milner, lines it into left field, fielded on the hop by Wes Little, and gets it into second baseman Sean Watson, and holds Milner to a single. The first pitch is a strike to Chris Vischer, the shortstop, who leads off the inning.
He's had some great defense. I watched him on Saturday. Made some great plays.
Lines it to shortstop Scott Spengler, over to first base in time for the first out of the inning.
Now you see that play? Great. He stretched, got it in the webbing, gunned to first base, out by a step.
Now batting for Dirks Moving is the first baseman, Todd Nutzelman, and they call him Nutsy. And he looks ready to hit. A big guy steps in the box.
He's the big first baseman, and he could power one over that left center fielder's head if he gets a hold of it.
He lets the first pitch go by for a ball. That'll be 2-1. Remember, 16-inch softball, you start with a 1-1 count. It's now 3-1. Pitcher's going to have to throw a strike, or he puts a man on first base. And Nutzelman will watch it. He'll go to first on the walk.
Big mistake. If you walk somebody in softball, shame on you, because it's a slow pitch game. You should be able to throw a strike at will. Here's our big star, Rhodes.
That's right. Mike Rocky Rhodes, the right center fielder. We talked about him a little bit earlier, George.
Absolutely. All-American in high school football in the area with Scottsdale, Arizona.
With a 1-2 count, line that first one foul. He steps up and sends it into center field. Back goes Westfall. He makes the catch and gets it back inside. Runner at first base retreats, and we have a man on first with 1 out. Now batting for Dirks Moving is a third baseman, Braden Gross. Braden looks at the second pitch. It's a spinner.
Oh, my.
The pitcher. It gets by him. A lot of English on that ball. The run will score from second base. Gets by the third baseman. Another run's going to come in, and 2 will score for Dirks Moving, on the error.
We're out here with Bill Watson, the captain of Dirks Moving Team, who's playing in the finals here at the 16-inch softball B2B tournament. So tell us a bit about your team, Bill.
Well, we're with Dirks Moving. We're a full-service moving company, do all kinds of moving from locals to internationals, interstate. And it's our 4th year in a row out here. We won the last 2 years. We're going for 3 in a row this year.
What is it that you love about 16-inch? How come you keep coming out?
16-inch is a lot of fun. It's a quicker paced game. Not as much run scoring, so the game moves along real quick. Bigger emphasis on defense and speed. We got some good defenders and some fast guys.
Clint Bedard, the catcher for Dirks Moving.
Got a heavy clincher bat, 38 ounces.
And he rips it into left field. Back goes Fletcher. He makes the catch. Tagging it first is done. He's going for second. The throw not in time. Sliding in head first and under. The tag is Mike Dunn, and a man on second base with 1 out on the fly ball.
Softball of its best. Move up. Hit him up, move him up. Great play there.
Keep the runners moving around the base paths is what George is saying. That brings up Sean Watson, the second baseman for Dirks Moving.
Filling in for his brother who's injured tonight, Billy Watson.
Mike Dunn is on second base. That's a base hit to left field. Rounding third is Dunn. He's going for home. There'll be no throw, and that's a run batted in for Sean Watson. And the lead is now 3-1 in favor of Dirks Moving. Heading into the top of the 3rd inning of play, leading off for Angle Homes will be the catcher Glenn Tulk. 3-1, Dirks Moving leading as we head to the top of the 3rd inning. There's Rickert again added on the mound. Lays the pitch in there. Tulk drives that into left field for a clean base hit, and he'll be on first base with nobody out to lead off the inning, George.
You get your catcher on, that's a good sign, because generally speaking, they're not that fast, but he put a nice charge to that, Glenn did.
That'll bring up the pitcher. They call him the Mexican Tornado. Johnny Maestas steps into the plate with a man on first and nobody out. Ground ball to the pitcher. Off Rickert. He tries to get it to second base. Can't make the play. And we'll have men on first and second with nobody out on the infield single by Maestas.
I would never be critical of Rick, but you got to open the webbing in this game. You got to force the webbing open. That went right off the edge of his webbing for an error.
That brings up our center fielder, Chris White. They call him K. He steps into the box on the left side of the plate. Man on first and second with nobody out. He drives it to the second baseman, Corley. Over to Cohen, not in time at first, but we have 1 out in the inning with men on first and third for Angle Homes.
You want to lift that ball, Corey, if you can. You don't want it on the ground there. You want to lift it to the outfield if you possibly can.
That will bring up our second baseman for Angle Homes, David Corley. Men on first and third.
And this guy used to work for AVNET in the old days, as they say.
And there's David with a drive to center field. Underneath it is Mike Rocky Rhodes. He makes the catch for the second out of the inning. The run scores from third base, and the score is now 3-2 in favor of Dirks as Angle Homes closes the gap. The count is now full, 3-2. The action pitch coming to Rhodes. He drives it to left field. He hits it good. This is going to get over Fletcher and go to the wall. Rhodes rounding second, going for 3. He'll probably try to make it home. Here comes the throw. It will not be in time. That is a home run for Mike Rocky Rhodes. We mentioned a scholar athlete from Phoenix Horizon High School to Arizona State, and he showed why right there.
Hit it on the screws, hit it on the seam. The clincher screamed over the left fielder's head. No chance of getting it. That's a home run in any league in America. That was a bomb there.
Yeah, that was a rip by Rocky Rhodes, and now the score moves to 4-2 in favor of Dirks. That brings up Wes Little, who lines that into left center, and he'll be on first base with a base hit.
They want that big inning. They want to catch up. They're down by 2.
That's right. 4-2. Dirks moving here in the 4th inning. This brings up Fletcher. He sends it over to second baseman Watson, makes the turn, and they turn the double play as Nutzelman makes the stretch, and Dirks moving turns the first double play of the evening. And there's a line shot by Mitch Cohen down the third baseline, and he'll be at first base with 2 down. That brings up the third baseman, Brian Connolly, to see if he can keep some sort of rally going here. They're down 2 runs, George. They need some action. Cohen drives it down the left field in between the shortstop and third baseman for a hit. We have men on first and second now, George, with 2 down, bringing up Brian Connolly to try and keep the inning going. The Engel Holmes guys are starting to get to him. There's a sharp grounder by Connolly, and that will retire the side. Dirks moving in the lead, 4-2.
Can you imagine this team if they do three-peat? They got to be one of the best teams. Maybe they might go to the Nationals in Chicago next year. They're that good. They're pretty darn good here in Arizona already, adapting to our game.
No doubt about it. 4-2 lead for Dirks moving as they come to the plate. It'll be right fielder Mike Dunn to lead off the inning. The Mexican Tornado, Johnny Maestas still on the mound for Engel Holmes, trying to keep the score close. Here's a ground ball to the third baseman, Brian Connolly, over to first baseman Mitch Cohen, and he can't come up with it. It's a man on first base, and indeed, Mike Dunn does start the inning off positively for Dirks moving. That'll bring up Clint Bedard, our catcher, the man on first and nobody out. Bedard over the pitcher Maestas into center field. Cleanly fielded by Bo Milner, the rover, but not in time to get the speedy Mike Dunn, who gets into second base. It'll be first and second for Dirks moving with nobody out. Possible big inning here, George.
Here's Sean Watson, who made that great double play move in the last half inning to get out of that big rally.
He gets a hold of it into right center. That's going to drop. Rounding third is Dunn and Bedard. And Watson will get into third with a triple, score 2 runs, and now it is 6-2 in favor of Dirks moving.
Pitcher versus pitcher here.
And he drives it into left center. Over the rover, Bo. No, he makes a great catch. Bo Milner, what a play. And that will indeed score the run. Or are they going to check it? They appeal third base, and he is out.
Is that right, No,
he's not. The
reversal.
home plate umpire reverses the call. And that means that the run will indeed score. It is now 7-2 in favor of Dirks moving on the fantastic diving play by Bo Milner.
Wow.
That brings up the shortstop, Chris Vischer. He drives this one into center field. There's Bo Milner again, and he can't hang on. This one gets in and out of his glove. He made a great play on the last fly ball, but he can't come up with this one. And Vischer into second base on the error. He lines us right back to Maestas. He can't hold on to it. Picking it up is the second baseman, David Corley. He tries to get it home. That gets by the catcher, Glenn Tolk. And to second base goes
Rhodes. 8-2.
8-2 now for Dirks moving.
We're here with Dave Corley of Engel Holmes, who was the captain of the Engel team. Is that correct?
Correct.
And you put the team together?
I did.
Is this your first time to have a team?
No, we've actually put a team together. I think there's a tournament in the spring, and we played in the spring as well. Didn't get as far.
Now, is it any different, really, the 16-inch versus the 12-inch, as far as if somebody's thinking about putting a team together? Should they be intimidated, or is it pretty easy?
No, it's a tougher game than 12-inch. You get a lot of guys that want to hit it out. In the 12-inch, they can hit it over the fence. Here, they can't, so it's real strategic. You got to place the ball much better here to advance your runners.
We go to the top of the order for Dirks moving, and Chris Vischer, the shortstop, steps in the box with Watson at first base. He lines it over the pitcher Maestas into center field. Watson will go to second, and Vischer is on base with a hit.
That's a softball shot there. With the overspin, you can't pick up the English. Tough ball to catch.
And he's now 3-1 up on the count. He's in the advantage. This has to be a strike from Maestas, and he misses the plate. It'll be a walk. The bases will indeed be loaded for Mike Rocky Rhodes, not the guy Engel Holmes wants to see at the plate.
Nightmare situation here. You got one of the best players in all of Phoenix area, and you put a walk on there, a forced walk, and load the bases. Oh, my goodness.
They're pinch running for Vischer at first base. They are putting in the pitcher, Rick Rickard, to run for him. The pitch to Rocky Rhodes. Mike Rocky Rhodes is a base hit. That's going to score at least one. Watson comes in to score. Vischer comes in to score. And it's now 10-2. Dirks moving, leading Engel Holmes and George are getting close to that 10-run rule. Braden Gross now steps in to the batter's box, playing third base tonight for Dirks. and he promptly lines this to right center field. That's going to drop. It'll score Rickard. Rhodes is rounding third. He picks up the ball. He's making the move to the plate. The throw is not in time, and now the score is 12-2 in favor of Dirks moving. That's a 10-run rule, and umpire Steve Gibbs puts up his hands and calls the game as Dirks moving winner by 10-run rule over Engel Holmes, 12-2. Player of the game has to be Sean Watson, George.
He has to be at a monster home run right center. Great defense. One in left field, and I'm telling you something, Dirks possibly could come to the Nationals. They got a pretty good team for sure.
And with me, the winners of the men's bracket, Dirks moving, and standing next to me is Sean and Bill Watson. And Bill, you're the coach captain of this team. You've got to be proud to win it.
My boys played good. Sorry I was injured tonight, but they came through. That was a tough team we beat.
Well, you took yourself out of the lineup and you put your brother Sean in, and he's the game MVP. Sean, how'd it feel to be out there for Bro?
It felt good. I had to work on Saturday. They had me working on the trucks at Dirks. But it was nice to come out today and represent and have a nice game.
Absolutely. You guys obviously know how to play a little ball. I'm sure that the team didn't miss Bill too much with Sean out there. But great game.
Didn't skip a beat.
Yeah, didn't skip a beat. Great pitching by Rickard over there. Good job. You get the W, and you guys are the winners. Hold up your trophy of the AVNET 16-inch men's bracket. Congratulations, guys. Way to go.
Thank you.
Arizona has always attracted independent people who carve out their own path.
Hello, I'm Sean Mansky, Safety and Risk Manager for Kovac Construction. My projects are most efficient when my employees feel safe and confident on the job.
SCF Arizona is the largest workers' compensation insurer in the state.
SCF Arizona's safety training and support helps keep us safe. And if we ever need help, they're on it right away.
We don't cover property or possessions, just people. SCF Arizona, at work for you.
Headquartered in the Valley, AVNET is the global leader in electronic component and computer solutions with over $16 billion in sales. A few of our partners include Let us accelerate your success and join our winning team.
Standing with Mike Jarecki from Bickley and MJ in the morning on Extra Sports 910. Mike, glad you're out here.
Good to be here, Corey.
Well, we had our opportunity to go out and play for Extra Sports 910, trying to represent Clear Channel Broadcasting in a positive light. What did you think of our performance? Because I have my own ideas.
Well, I mean, we lost both of our games, so that's not very good. I mean, you got to win a game early, at least, right? One game?
At least one.
But, you know, it's our first time, great experience, good time. I mean, this is the first time we've been involved in something like this, so obviously it's good to be out here. But we're 0-2.
0-2. Yeah. We are going to come back on Monday night and give it another shot in a celebrity game. So we're going to have an opportunity to take on the best the AVNET softball tournament has to offer. And what do you think?
Well, I think because we're going to have the co-eds on our team, it's going to help us because the men didn't get it done.
No, we really
So when we
didn't.
get the girls to help us on Monday, I like our chances.
Wasn't from lack of effort, though. We definitely gave it a good run. We lost our first game 11-8. A little bit of a blowout in the second game, but we're feeling our oats here.
It wasn't a blowout. It was 11-11 going into the seventh inning. We lost 18-11. Now, come on now.
All right, we lost by a touchdown. Joining me from Spark Magazine is Joni Siegel. Joni, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, you're a little bit of a softball player. I saw you out there catching. Your background was softball.
Well, my background is swimming, but I was one of those hyperactive kids that did every sport. So I did soccer and softball.
Right on. And are you enjoying it? 16-inch is a big ball.
Yeah, we're winning right now. It's a big ball, but we can handle it, so it's good.
Right on. Now, what are your responsibilities when it comes to Spark Magazine?
For Spark Magazine, I'm an editorial writer, which means that I interview the athletes and then I do the featured writers and stories about them.
And when somebody is to pick up a Spark Magazine, what exactly are we going to see content-wise?
What you're going to see is what you don't normally see, which is the athletes on a day-to-day basis and kind of what it means to be a student athlete at ASU and all about what they do behind the scenes and what it really takes to be an athlete, and we're trying to promote them in a positive aspect, so that's what we hope we're doing.
How long has the magazine been around?
It's been a year and a half. About April was our first issue, so last April of last year, so that's when it was.
Right on, ASU alumni. I hope you're listening. Joining me right now is Christina, Heather, and Katie, and you guys are here representing Spark Magazine. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, we do promotions for Spark at different events. Today it's for charity. We're just selling, passing out the new issue of Spark Magazine, and we're selling t-shirts for charity and selling raffle tickets, and
it's a fun day.
Dan, the first question is, what is your responsibility being a part of that commission?
The Phoenix Regional Sports Commission, we are a non-profit organization established by the state back in 1989, and basically what we are here to do is to bring large sporting events to the area, specifically to increase economic impact on the area, things like Super Bowl, things like an NBA All-Star Game, things like, these types of events that really give back to the community, the AVNET B2B.
That's right, and the All-Star Game and the Super Bowl both headed to the Valley. I know you had a lot to do with the setup of that, but let's talk about the softball tournament a little bit here at the Tempe Sports Complex. Obviously 16-inch, something different. What did you have to do with Al for the last 5 years in setting these tournaments up?
Well, the mayor of Phoenix, Mayor Rimza, actually back in the day, got the Sports Commission involved to make this tournament, help it make it happen. And basically, we've just been there from the beginning, helping with things like beer sales, raising extra money for the charities. We have a great charity auction tonight. Donations from teams like the Phoenix Suns, Harlem Globetrotters, Arizona Diamondbacks, you name it, as well as a real high-end silent auction. Things like the Diamondbacks even donated a full suite for silent auction.
That's terrific. That's great to have the support of the local teams.
Sure. Oh, it's great. And we try to work with the teams and have good relationships with them, and we can then go ahead and leverage those into these sorts of events to really make them that much better.
George, this could get ugly quick, and I'm not talking about my team winning.
Oh my goodness! You're saying the umpires are actually going to win something? There won't be booing for them?
Well, we talked about
ugly. You're right.
We talked about the 10-run rule in earlier games. I'm more worried about the 20-run rule tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a fun game at least. We hope you enjoyed. It's our final game of the night, our celebrity game at the AVNET 16-inch softball Desert Classic. I'm Corey LaRusso with George Bliss. Enjoy the game.
All right, we're here with Todd McFarland from the Sports 910 team. How's your team doing so far, Todd?
Inconsistency, the step ladder to mediocrity, and we're climbing the ladder right now.
Okay, excellent, Todd. Tell us a little bit about the balls that you have purchased from Major League Baseball.
Well, I was an avid collector since I was 8 years old. I started with 5-cent bubblegum cards and eventually grew into $100,000 and eventually a couple $1 million baseball. So I own the top 3 home run balls for single season. Sammy Sosa 66, Mark McGwire 70, and Barry Bonds 73rd home run ball.
Incredible! It's quite a collection.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your career as a comic drawer and your participation on spot.
Well, I left high school, went to school after, ended up playing on a Pac-10 baseball scholarship. Wanted to be a pro ball player, wasn't good enough. Broke into comic books, did some Batman, Spider-Man, Hulk. Started my own company, did Spawn for a while, and then ended up getting that on HBO, done some movie directing, directed some music videos, and now we do toys full-time, and we do comic books and a lot of other things. So
excellent. You've had an exciting life.
And I'm up right now. Clean up.
Okay. Bye, Todd.
The umpires pitching Joe Garcia with the first pitch, and that's a ground ball that goes to Desiree Belliard, and she cannot make the play as Garcia tries to cover, and there's one man on, nobody out for Extra Sports 910. Sarah's ready for the pitch. That's a ball, and so she walks, and it's now first and second with nobody out. What an eye. All right, batting third, Derek Rodriguez, the third baseman. Derek knows what he's doing. He's got the bat in his hands. This looks like it could drop light in the shallow left field. Rounding third is Todd McFarland. He'll be safe at home. Daly is tagged out, forced out at second, and Garcia slides into second base on the throw.
Yeah, great action. I think some know what they're doing now. This is not going to be a walkover by Extra 910.
1-0 Sports Radio. That's right. Extra Sports 910 up 1-0. A shocker in the making. This is like Appalachian State and Michigan, George.
Oh, it could happen.
Vince Marotta. Vinny,
oh, yeah.
You know him from Vince Marotta, Jeff Dean in the afternoon. The fly ball into right field is going to get by Belliard. Around third is Rodriguez. He'll score. Marotta's caught between first and second. He's digging for second. The throw from Kirsch gets by the shortstop, and Marotta will be safe at second.
Quick 2 runs here by the ever-present extra sports team.
I'm telling you, George, this is a shocker in the making. Batting first for the umpires is Steve Gibbs. Gibbs lines it to left field, gets over the barehanded Mike Bauer for a center field retrieve by Murata into Jarecki, and Gibbs is on with a leadoff single. Mike Bowman, the left fielder for the umpires. He lines this into right center field. There's McFarland after it. He retrieves it. Gibbs scores from third. Jarecki holds the ball in shallow center field, and Bronson stops at third base. Nobody out. Men on first and third here in the bottom of the first. Joe Garcia in the box with a 1-2 count. The pitch by Vic is a ground ball. That'll get between Jarecki and Stoll, go into right field. That'll score Bronson. And coming around third is Bowman. 2 runs will score on the play. Garcia will stop at third base. And now Jeff Kirsch, the head of the umpires, in the box. Over to Sarah Daly. She makes a great pickup. And that's now 2 outs, but the run does score. Joe Garcia scores the 4th run of the inning, and it's now 4-2. Umpires with 2 down in the bottom of the first.
You see what happened there to the right side? They got to come in from third when he's going. Great play there.
Fundamental bread and butter baseball.
Oh, my goodness gracious, yes.
All right, let's go to Robbie Alt, the right fielder. This is a pop fly. Jarecki looks under it. Lisa Stoll takes over, calls him off, and makes the play. And we head into the top of the second inning of play. The umpires leading Extra Sports 910 4-2. And stepping into the box to lead off the second inning for Extra Sports 910 is Mike Jarecki. You know him from Bickley and MJ in the morning. And Jarecki lines it down the left field line, and a great play by left fielder Mike Bowman for the first out of the inning. Ben's looking at this one. He drives it to Bauer without the glove, and it gets through him. Garcia goes to first base, takes a look at second. He's going to make the turn. The throw's coming in, and it's cut off by Jarecki. And Garcia makes it to second base on the play. Josie Garcia. And that is
the wife,
the mom of the last 2 batters.
You're telling me.
And the wife of the pitcher.
And she's a DH.
That's right. She's designated hitting tonight.
Wow.
With the man on third base, one of her sons, it's a matter of fact. She knows how to play, and she drives it up the middle. Jarecki picks it up, throws to first, and Daly makes a fantastic play. Ben Garcia scores, and it is now 5-2 in favor of the umpires.
So we got Mike Bauer with Sports 910, right? You're the only guy out there with no glove. What's the deal on that?
I think I'm the only guy that was actually born and raised in Chicago, so it's the way I grew up playing. It's not working out for me. I've already made 2 errors out there, but just the way, and I grew up all my life playing 16-inch softball. I didn't even know there was a hard softball until I was like in high school.
So what's the advantage to no glove?
You can use both hands. I can make a play on one side, I can make a play on the other side, as opposed to with a glove. Let's say that I'm right-handed, the glove's on my left hand. If I need to make a play to the right side, I have to reach across my body to get there, as opposed to if I'm playing with both hands, I can use both hands.
Right, gotcha.
I'm not going to throw with both hands, but I'm going to feel with both hands.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so who put your team together at Sports 910, and how'd that come about?
It was just kind of a combination of the morning show, Bickley and MJ. I'm the producer of the morning show, so it was Mike Jarecki, Dan Bickley, and myself. We just kind of went through and recruited people, walked around the office and wanted to see who was interested in playing, and we even have a couple of our listeners. Our pitcher is one of our listeners on the radio station, so we brought a lot of people together here, and we had a lot of fun on Saturday. We lost, but we're having a lot of fun tonight too.
So being from Chicago, when they came out with the 16-inch tournament, were you surprised by that? Because it's not popular out here, and back home you grew up with it.
You know what I was mostly surprised by is how few people were familiar with it. That was the biggest surprise was, people said, what do you mean 16-inch softball? Right. And I had to explain, well, it's actually a soft ball, as opposed to most people think softball. They think a baseball on steroids, and it's actually a soft ball. There's no ping or crack of the bat. It's a thud of the bat, and that's what I was most surprised by is how many people looked at me and went, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So.
All right, great. Well, good luck to you, Mike.
Oh, we need it.
Mike Bauer, the shortstop for Extra Sports 910. He does the in-game production for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Does a great job of that, by the way, as well as producing the morning show, Bickley and MJ.
Very difficult job.
Extra Sports 910. There's nothing easy about doing either of those jobs.
Nothing.
So Mike's got a lot of energy, and he uses it very well. Here he lines it up the middle for a base hit, and he'll be at first base to get things going for Extra Sports 910. 2 down in the top of the 5th. Extra Sports behind 5-2, and that brings up center fielder Todd McFarland, who we mentioned, the best wheels and probably the best hand on this Extra Sports radio team. This is a fly ball into right field. Underneath that is Robbie Alt. He makes the catch and retires the side. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning with the score. Southwest umpires 5, Extra Sports 9-10 2. J.C. Garcia steps in to the batter's box for the Southwest umpires. The first pitch is a fly ball to right field. Lisa Stoll underneath it. What a catch by Stoll! And it's 1 out in the inning. Great play by the second baseman on the dead run.
Who says we don't have stars on Extra 9-10? There's one right there. That's a great catch.
I think the girls are the best part of our team.
All right, we're here with Lisa Stoll from Sports 910 Radio, who has just... How many outs did you get this last inning?
One. Played second base, pop-up.
How did it feel when you caught the ball?
Pretty excellent.
Have you ever played 16 innings before?
Not since I was about 9 years old.
No kidding?
Yeah.
So were you a little nervous tonight?
Yeah, it's been a nice trip down memory lane. We're playing the umps, and it gets kind of confusing since there's umpires out there and they're wearing the umpire shirts.
Annalisa Kirsch is now up, the catcher. It's a line drive into right field. There's Jeff Dean. He picks it up, tries to get it to second base, but Garcia is there standing, and it's now first and second with nobody out.
And, of course, they come to Desiree.
And she's an athlete, a competitor. Expect big things from here with men on first and second right now.
Huge lead off there. She gets picked off.
Garcia trying to draw the throw from Vic Martin, the pitcher of Extra Sports 910. Jarecki, they're covering the bag, but Josie's back in time.
That's smart play, actually. That really can rattle you.
Pitch to Belliard. It's a ground ball. It's to Sarah Daly. She picks it up. She can't beat Belliard to the bag. Garcia threatens to come home, doesn't do it. The throw gets by the catcher, Hodges, picked up by Rodriguez. He goes back to third. She's safe. Over to second base, trying to catch Kirsch off the bag. She's safe. And Jarecki holds the ball as time is called.
This is what we call a fire drill.
I was going to say Keystone Cops, fire drill, whatever you want to call it. The ball's going all over the yard and people are running around the bases. That brings up the leadoff hitter for the Southwest umpire, Steve Gibbs.
Bases loaded. Look out. Danger looms here.
Yep. Leadoff man knows how to hit. Bases are loaded for the umpires. Ground ball to Bauer. Over to third for one, and that'll do it. A run scores for the umpires, and it is now 6-2 in favor of the Southwest umpires here in the bottom of the 5th. In the last game of the AVNET 16-inch softball Desert Classic, and George, it's been a blast being out here all week. I've never seen so much softball.
It'll be a bigger blast if Murata can get on, followed by Lisa Stoll, Mike Jarecki, et cetera, et cetera. They need a couple runs here.
They're down 7-2, and this is their last licks. There's Murata with a line drive up the middle. That's a base hit, and he'll be on first base to lead off the top of the 7th. That brings up the second baseman, Lisa Stoll.
Let's see what she does here.
Murata at first, Stoll the batter. Nobody out here in the top of the 7th. The last licks for Extra Sports 910. She gets a good piece of it. And the shortstop, Jim Bronson, makes a fantastic catch out there in shallow left field, and there's one down.
Nice spinning pop-up over the shoulder, shortstop. Ex-Chicago boy makes a nice catch there. Wow, nice play.
That brings up Rob Clark, who's going to bat for Jarecki in this spot. Man on first, that's Vince Murata. One down in the pitch. It's a ground ball to the shortstop, Bronson. He's been busy. Over to second. Gibbs makes a turn, but not in time to pick up the double play. Clark will be at first with two down, and it's going to be up to Nikki Foote to keep it going.
What are the chances, my friend? What are the chances?
Probably not very good, but I look at Nikki. She's got her batting gloves on. She's got a good stance at the plate, and she looks ready to hit.
I think they have two chances.
And then Garcia throws a pitch like that. She's looking better all the time. 2-1 is the count. She wants a piece of it. She swings, she misses, and the count goes to 2-2. So now the pressure's on her. And the swing, it's another foul ball, and I believe that'll do it. If I'm not mistaken, that's the second, third out of the inning, and that is ball game. For the AVNET 16-inch softball Desert Classic, the Southwest umpires beat Extra Sports 910 in the celebrity game by a final score of 7-2. George, it's been an absolute pleasure working with you. I'm already looking forward to the 2008 AVNET 16-inch softball Desert Classic, and I'm sure that we'll be out here for that next year.
A total and absolute delight, my friend, and I'm going to see you in Chicago real soon. You're going to come, we're going to have dinner in downtown Chicago, and I'm going to send some players from Chicago to help Extra next year.
Looking forward to it. For George Bliss, I'm Corey LaRusso from Extra Sports 910 at the AVNET 16-inch softball Desert Classic at the Tempe Sports Complex. Thanks for joining us.
Pitcher versus pitcher here.
And he drives it into left center. Over the rover Bo. No, he makes a great catch. Bo Milner, what a play. Count is now full, 3-2. The action pitch coming to Rhodes. He drives it to left field. He hits it good. This is going to get over Fletcher and go to the wall. Rhodes rounding second, going for 3. He'll probably try to make it home. Here comes the throw. It will not be in time. That is a home run. A fly ball to right field. Lisa Stoll underneath it. What a catch by Stoll. And it's one out in the inning. Great play by the second baseman.